Devin Slavinsky here to talk to you a little bit about spousal support in Virginia. So spousal support is one of the big questions when someone goes through a divorce. You know, divorce is not a walk in the park and you've got a million questions, and spousal support can be one of the biggest financial impacts during a divorce. So some of the big questions we get is spousal support required in Virginia? No, it's not required. And who's entitled to spousal support? The answers aren't clear-cut, but let me walk you through it. So there are three types of spousal support in Virginia, and not all cases end up with spousal support. There are a few factors that the court uses to determine whether or not spousal support is going to happen in the case. And there are different kinds of spousal support for different situations. So the first type of spousal support is called pendente lite spousal support. And pendente lite is Latin for pending litigation or pending the divorce. This is temporary spousal support. It's one of the few, it's the only spousal support that's based on a formula, but a lot of judges choose to not apply the formula. So that can make it a little bit complicated. Your attorney can tell you if the judge that you have in your case is likely to follow the formula or not follow the formula. The formula actually only goes up to parties who have $120,000 in income in a year, and then the formula isn't used at all. But when you have temporary spousal support, it doesn't consider fault, and you go into court early in your case and the judge establishes an amount of support that's supposed to carry you through the finalization of the divorce, where either spousal support will terminate or the judge will decide what kind of support is going to go on after the divorce. After divorce, there are two types of spousal support. So there's rehabilitative support and there's permanent support. So you'll have people talk about spousal support lasting for half the duration of the marriage. That is nowhere in law in Virginia. It's kind of a back of the envelope suggestion that judges consider a lot of the time, or that parties use in negotiating, but there's no obligation for spousal support to be half the length of the marriage. It can be for a lesser time or a longer time than half of the length of the marriage. Rehabilitative support is designed to get somebody back on their feet. So maybe a stay-at-home mom took some years out of the workforce and needs to get a new credential before she can go back and start earning more money. So rehabilitative support may help her get her therapy license or get a new nursing credential so she can find a job. Another type of spousal support would be permanent spousal support. So maybe there was a doctor's wife who helped him raise his children and get his career going and supported him in his career for many years. And, after a 25-year marriage, they're getting divorced. If there's really not a good chance of her getting back into another lucrative field, there may be permanent spousal support in that situation. Now, we can talk about when permanent support really is permanent or isn't permanent, because spousal support can be subject to modification. But a permanent spousal support award doesn't change unless there's a significant change in circumstances. There are a couple other concepts in spousal support, like a reservation of spousal support, where spousal support is not awarded at the end of a marriage, but the parties have the right to come back and request spousal support from each other. So when a judge is looking at these three different types of spousal support, the pendente lite support, the rehabilitative support, or the permanent spousal support, what factors are they looking at? Well, they're going to look at the length of the marriage, the financial contributions that the parties made during the marriage, the age of the parties, the health of the parties, and job credentials, what somebody could make in the market. And there are a number of different ways we as attorneys use to show the judge what factors they should be considering. The biggest impact that you have on a spousal support case is the judge that's on your case. So judges vary widely in how they look at spousal support. So having an attorney that's going to really advocate for the specific facts in your case and help the judge understand the circumstances is going to be very important for you. There's no fixed statewide guidelines for spousal support except for those temporary spousal support issues. And so your support's going to vary a lot. It can be a lot to take in, and it can actually be one of the biggest financial impacts in your divorce. So it's really important to get spousal support right. Let me know if you need help in Virginia with your spousal support, and we'd be happy to help you.